The Atlanta Falcons select Kaleb McGary, tackle, Washington.
We're excited to have you join our team.
It was unbelievable. I had actually just been drafted in the NFL in the first round.
Sometimes it just works out the right fit at the right place.
Before Kaleb McGary could be fitted for his red number 76 Falcons jersey, he had to prove he had a strong enough heart for the job. Literally. The story begins in a high school basketball game where Kaleb faints while going up for a rebound. He thinks he's just tired or dehydrated and tries to play through it.
I took one step, bam, out like a light, and they clocked my heart at like 300 beats a minute or something crazy like that, to the point where I passed out because there's a point your heart can reach where it beats so fast that it stops actually pumping blood and just kind of quivers and shakes. After that, me and my dad spent months going up and down the coast to every different heart facility and doctor. I got told I wasn't allowed to sweat or I could potentially die. That wasn't nerve-wracking at all. Stress test after stress test, EKGs, nobody could find anything.
Until fall football practice at the University of Washington.
All of a sudden, I just kind of felt weird. Felt like a rock was just kind of bouncing around in my chest. It would get really hard to breathe.
This time, there would be a diagnosis, atrial fibrillation, or AFib.
Atrial fibrillation is defined as the top part of the heart, the right and left atria, as going out of rhythm. They begin to quiver, and the heart responds by producing a very erratic, often rapid pulse rate. Unfortunately, most patients don't feel well with this. It makes them feel short of breath, and most importantly, atrial fibrillation increases the risk of stroke.
Kaleb had a procedure called an ablation, where the part of the heart that's causing the arrhythmia is located and cauterized with a small wire. But his doctors would later discover a second condition in the bottom of Kaleb's heart.
Idiopathic ventricular tachycardia is just a little area of a short circuit in his heart that develops somewhere along the line that we find in young people who have an otherwise perfectly normal heart. Fortunately, it's very amenable to treatment, and people can lead a totally normal life.
First team all Pac-12 last year, Kaleb McGary.
Kaleb went on to excel as an offensive lineman at Washington and seemed on track to become a first-round NFL draft pick if he could show teams his heart was healthy.
I got poked and prodded and asked questions by every team, like everybody does. And of course, the heart stuff came up. I had lots of very serious and very in-depth talks about it, especially with the Falcons.
Every team has to make a determination. It's a risk assessment for the team.
Dr. Jonathan Kim is a sports cardiologist with Emory Healthcare, the official healthcare provider of the Atlanta Falcons.
Determined that he had every right to move forward with the draft process.
Kaleb now moves across the country to join the Atlanta Falcons for training camp, hoping his heart problems are behind him.
And then, July 30th, it got to the point where I was truly starting to get dizzy. I was exhausted. It's not getting better now, it's actually getting worse.
Dr. Kim and Emory Healthcare cardiologist Dr. David DeLurgio created a new treatment plan that would allow Kaleb to play his rookie year. The first step, another ablation procedure.
We know that in the vast majority of patients, we can draw a catheter up through the leg into the heart and zap the area that's causing the arrhythmia. He responded very nicely to that, and since that time, he's been able to exercise normally and hasn't experienced any recurrence of his symptoms.
We're confident that we have managed things appropriately up front and that we've controlled things.
Not only would Kaleb make it back in time for the start of the regular season, he was the Game 1 starter. And he would go on to start all 16 of the Falcons' games with no further heart issues. He says having a team of experts in Emory Healthcare just a phone call away was comforting.
I always have someone's number I can call. You know, when you're having heart problems, it's a big deal. And with my first season, hopefully my most stressful season behind me, I imagine I got a pretty good shot at being in the clear.